It's Tuesday, February 26, 2019, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. A schoolgirl who was brutally beaten by her schoolmates almost 2 years ago is reportedly struggling with health problems and a rising healthcare bill. The 17-year-old was transferred from the Lester Vaughan School following the incident, which occurred away from the school compound. The teen was kicked, hit about the body, and left unconscious at the side of the road in the May 2017 incident. Mother Marcia Carrington tells Barbados Today how her daughter's life has changed.
She life changed a lot because the soft tissue injuries in she back. She used to run, she can't run no more. Because when she started to run, she started to collapse. So she had to stop running. The headaches is some serious headaches that even sometimes it hurts she so bad sometimes. It caused she also to collapse. And when she get like that, there's nothing, all she could do is lay down and all she could do is cry. And she would also say she didn't do them anything. They can't tell the court that she do them anything, and they should not have to put them hands on her. That is what she did say.
The Grantley Adams International Airport is not for sale. That's strong denial from Minister of Tourism Kerry Simmons after he recently reported on divestment plans for the facility under a public-private sector partnership. As he addressed the launch of the new departure gates and waiting areas at the airport yesterday afternoon, the minister slammed misinformation circulating since the announcement.
There is no sale contemplated. There is no parting with the patrimony of the land. What we are doing is recognizing that for too long, this place has needed a substantial capital injection, that for too long we have failed to recognize our maximum potential, that we have had a tremendous effort by the private sector, especially in the air and sea aspect of cruise in Barbados, and that even though the private sector has been doing a lot of heavy lifting, the reality is that if the airport is not able to carry the additional capacity of people who are brought here for the purpose of cruise, as this room is about primarily, then, ladies and gentlemen, we are failing them and we are failing ourselves as a country.
Minister Simmons also reported on plans to build out the airport.
To report to you that the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry received today from the IFC, which is the International Finance Corporation, the private sector arm of the World Bank, their confirmation of notice that we have sent to them. And the notice we sent to them was notice of the fact that the Cabinet of Barbados 2 Thursdays ago approved this process. And they in turn have now sent us a draft financial services agreement, which we will finalize. And the purposes of the financial services agreement is to itemize those aspects of the financial services that the World Bank's private sector arm will assist us with. In addition to that, the financial services agreement will also set down the time frames which we will then be able to hold to account, so that there are certain steps along the way that we can make sure that we take in an adequate amount of time. I believe that within the next 6 months, we should have been able to have completed, for example, a new master plan for the airport, and we should be on the road thereafter to identifying, by way of the international bid process, the new operator of the airport.
Chief Justice Sir Marston Gibson isn't happy. He doesn't believe the drug treatment court is being used sufficiently by members of the judiciary. The Chief Justice spoke out on the issue during the graduation ceremony of the third cohort of people to complete the year-long program yesterday.
We have a drug treatment court. There's a reason for it. And so I get annoyed when I read the newspaper and I see that someone who has 9 convictions for drug offenses has been fined for possessing drugs. That person is obviously addicted. That person is obviously addicted. There's no point in convicting them, finding them some sum of money with the alternative of being sent to prison. and not sending them to drug treatment court. You have not cured the problem. You've not given the problem the opportunity to be cured. All you've done is to send the person through a revolving door. That does not make sense.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To our regional neighbors now, the results are in, and Cubans have voted overwhelmingly in favor of constitutional reforms that cement the role of socialism. More than 86% of voters supported the changes in Sunday's referendum, while only 9% voted against it. More from France 24.
Change comes to Cuba in the form of a new constitution. For the first time, a two-term limit has been set for the president. To be eligible, candidates must be between 35 to 60 years old. A prime minister post has also been created. Responding to realities on the ground, where 13% of Cubans, nearly 600,000 people, already work in the private sector, the new constitution recognizes private property, small businesses, and allows foreign investment. Despite these economic concessions, there's been no radical shift to the country's type of government. The new constitution reaffirms the Communist Party's leading role and enshrines as irrevocable the socialist system, which has been guiding the island since 1959. As for trade unions, they've been banned, with the exception of the Confederation of Cuban Workers. Finally, gay marriage won't be legalized. Faced with a backlash from churches on the island, as well as concerns that some of the population may have objected, dragging on a yes vote, the clause was removed from the final version.
And finally, on the international scene, Nigeria's main opposition is rejecting provisional presidential election results, showing the ruling party in the lead. It's instead accusing the ruling party and the Electoral Commission of being in collusion. We get more in this Al Jazeera report.
Nigeria's election was the biggest ever exercise in democracy on the African continent, and in a country just 20 years into its democratic era, after decades of military rule, problems were bound to occur.
Now, our recommendations short-term to political parties and candidates include to respect the rule of law and to call on supporters to remain peaceful before, during, and after the announcement of results.
Monitoring groups were present in force and on Tuesday delivered a mixed verdict.
In practice, implementing the elections in 2019 was a retrogressive step in terms of what should have been improvements in it. So it makes us worried and makes us really concerned that the ability of Nigerian citizens to freely make decisions about who rule them has not yet been entrenched.
On election day, citizen video flooded social media showing incidents of violence at some polling stations. The Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, has confirmed incidents of ballot box destruction, voter intimidation and the abduction of election officials. A number of polling stations weren't able to open or had polling disrupted by malfunctioning equipment.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. And sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Carol Williams. Have a good day.